What do you get if you cross a World War II Willys Jeep with a CJ7 with a diesel Chevette and a DeLorean? Well, this is it. This is about a 1995 Filipino owner Jeep. This is my Jeep here in Palawan, Philippines. Uh, that's kind of exactly what this thing is. It's got some weird butt ugly 82 model roughly Toyota Celica wheels on it, some other miscellaneous Toyota steering column. It's got an engine out of a Isuzu iMark, which is the same engine that the Chevette used, and it's a diesel. So if you had a diesel Chevette, you had this Isuzu 4FB1 engine, which I'll show you in a minute. The entire frame and body on this thing is stainless, completely stainless. This was kind of a fad in the Philippines back around 15-20 years ago, and there are a bunch of these running around, but most of them are in much worse condition because they didn't necessarily have a stainless frame on them, and only some parts of the body were stainless. So a lot of them are kind of rusted out, and they had crappy little engines in them. They built these because apparently it was kind of difficult to get a late model car back then. There are very few cars from, say, like the 1990s and stuff on the road here in the Philippines today. And a lot of what was going up and down the roads in terms of being privately owned was, other than motorcycles, was stuff like this, just kind of locally made vehicles. They basically just made their own bodies and frames. There was a company in Cavite, I think, that did this one. And they just got surplus engines and transmissions, basically junkyard stuff, we would call it in the U.S., and just threw them together. This one had the Isuzu 4FB1 engine, which kind of barely fits in here in a way, because partly because just the battery is so huge. But here it is. These are known for being extremely wonderful engines in every way, especially fuel economy, as long as you're not interested in having a lot of power. They're not too terribly strong, but they run forever. This engine has only got one wire on it that it needs to keep running, and that's just this one right here. As long as it's got power right there, it'll just run till it runs out of fuel. And you can pretty easily start it just by hot wiring the glow plugs in the starter, and you can get going with just a few wires, even if the entire ignition system, entire electrical system is just crap. But anyway, this engine is in actually quite good condition. It runs well. It gets phenomenally good, just crazy good gas mileage, fuel mileage, at around something like 50 or 60 miles per gallon. It's really insane, and that's the main reason why I have it. That and the fact it will never rust. And it's just, being so simple, it's really good for a zombie apocalypse or something like that. So here's the inside of it. Again, just stainless. You can just wash it out with a hose. It is an automatic, which is really weird. That's one reason why we bought it. My wife does not like to drive a manual. Here's another view right here. That automatic it came with that engine, I think, because Isuzu iMarks, the diesel iMark, used that transmission if it was an automatic, and it's a Toyota A40 automatic transmission, essentially, is what it is. So with that engine and that transmission, they're both very good. I have no idea what the rear end is, but I think that if properly restored, this thing will give very good service for a very long time. It's not terribly comfortable to ride in, but it is kind of interesting in a weird sort of way. Butt ugly taillights, which are soon to be removed. And the doors are CJ7 looking hard doors, nothing special about them. It actually used to have an air conditioner on it, which is really weird, but there were a lot of problems with the installation, and the engine couldn't be positioned in the right spot because of the air compressor, so I took that off, and it's a much cleaner fit. You could not do anything under the dash with that air compressor, with that air conditioner under there. So at any rate, this is my owner Jeep. It's really only fit to drive at around like 50 miles an hour or less. I don't know, maybe it could be okay going faster or something with some better steering, and I'm working out the steering, and that's been a trip, and I'm going to get it eventually. But working on something like this here is really quite difficult, because while it's easy to find somebody who can weld and fabricate things, getting parts is insanely difficult for anything, any kind of car. I usually have to buy a lot of my parts either in Puerto Princesa or Manila, and I don't live close to either one of them. But that makes it difficult to own something like this. But anyway, if you're interested in oddball vehicles around the world and what people in third world countries drive around in, here's one, and hope you enjoyed it. And you can come back later for my video on my Toyota pickup truck, which is, although it is a factory-built Toyota, it's something that you definitely don't have in the U.S., so you might be interested in that one also. So thanks for watching. Hope you liked it. You can feel free to comment on something if you want. I know the Jeep's a little bit ugly in some ways and kind of cool in others, and it's just a definitely oddball thing. I'd love to know what you have to say about it. So anyway, have a good day. Bye-bye. Thanks for watching.